What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA, and here we go once again with the box office breakdown, the scoreboard for the film industry. This is where we take a look at who's hot, who's not, the winners and the losers. We also take a look at the week that just passed along with the week that is to come. All right, so here we go. We see this Doctor Strange hasn't let off the gas, at least in terms of holding on to the number one spot. It takes number one once again. Coming in second is Downton Abbey, A New Era, which opened with $16 million. And we kind of expected that because Doctor Strange, big comic book film. Downton Abbey is kind of more for the older audiences, and they're probably just now starting to get comfortable coming back to the theaters. So let's go ahead and run down through the box office. By the way, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and help me out with that like button. Would really appreciate that. Also, if anybody's new, go ahead and click the subscribe button. We usually do this box office breakdown every Sunday along with a prediction. So we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. Let's go ahead and read through Box Office Pro, where all the movie fans go. Weekend box office, once again, New Era opens at 16.0 million. Doctor Strange sequel ThreePeats at number one. All right, so and we go again. We kind of figured that, but let's go ahead and take a look at what Downton Abbey was able to do. So it came in second place, $16 million, kind of on the lower end of the pre-release projections, 48% behind the original. This is a sequel, of course, behind the original Downton Abbey, which made $31 million. Now, it did see a large amount of 40 plus folks coming back to the theaters. It says here the estimated audience was 48% ages 55 and up. That's significantly more than other pandemic era films. So it kind of goes over some of these, you know, West Side Story, 28%, 26%, The Last Duel, 12%, No Time to Die, 36% was ages 45 and up. And then they said that, you know, the ages 55 was even lower than that. But the bottom line is, as you can tell, that this was a film, you know, targeted to the older crowd. It says here that the most of this was 73% female, which was identical to 74% for the other films. So most of the folks that were coming to see this film, you know, people that really don't go to a lot of movies, they'll probably just come out and see this movie. They might see a couple more movies throughout the year, and then that'll be it. So yeah, it did. I think it did all right. And then the other film that opened up this same weekend was a horror thriller, Men, which opened at fifth place with 3.2 million, also on the lower end of pre-release projections. I think, you know, and I also noticed that the box office was just kind of coming down overall. You'll notice here that overall you see Doctor Strange, you know, you had a top 10 total gross of 220, then it went to 89, then it went to 70. So the top 10 movies are kind of coming down, and that's to be expected again, because Doctor Strange was doing a lion's share. Kind of everybody cleared the path for it. You can see right now there was only 23 releases that they've calculated so far, but even with this one, at 41 this week and then 44 this week, yeah, it was just pretty much everybody kind of cleared out of the way, said, hey man, we ain't messing with the MCU. We're gonna go ahead and make our money somewhere down the line. So next week, we know coming up will be Top Gun Maverick, and that's expected to do some heavy competition with Doctor Strange. Obviously, we'll be doing a box office prediction for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back to the little article here. So we see that Disney and Marvel Studios Doctor Strange easily maintained first place with a 48% decline, $31.6 million. The lion's share, of course, of the people that went to see it saw it that first weekend. A few more saw it that second weekend, and then the third weekend, you know, it's going to continue to kind of take these little 50% drops, you know, here and there. It might, you know, it's kind of level off to maybe some 40 or 30%. But for the most part, I think this thing is kind of going to start slowing way down. But right now it's sitting at $803 million worldwide. Can't sneeze at that. So let's go ahead and check out the numbers. There's not really much to talk about. We're going to get right to the numbers, discuss that, and then we're going to talk about next week. All right, here we go. The top 10 for the weekend. Let's check it out. May 20 to 22. Number one, of course, Doctor Strange. Once again, $31.6 million. Number two, Downton Abbey with $16 million. Number three, The Bad Guys hanging in there with $6 million. Number four, Sonic the Hedgehog still bringing in some money, $3.9 million. And then finally, we get to Men, that just debuted once again at $3.3 million. All right, for the rest of the top 10, Everything Everywhere All at Once, still pulling in great numbers, 3.1 million. Secrets of Dumbledore, trying to get whatever they can get at this point. I think that movie is already determined to be a huge flop, and Warner Brothers got some soul searching to do, of course. Firestarter right behind that, 1.9 million. Didn't really do that well last week either, so yeah, this looks like this is going to lose a significant chunk of money. The Lost City at 1.5 million, and then finally The Northman at 1 million. All right, and then here we go with the top 5 domestic week-over-week drops. So you can see Doctor Strange dropped 48% this week. The Bad Guys dropped 13%. Small little drops for the Bad Guys. Also for Sonic, you'll see there 14% drop. Great little drops. And then look at Everything Everywhere All at Once. Again, a 5% drop. That's what you want from these smaller films. You just want to see it just kind of maintain small drops. A few people are going back to see it. It's never going to be a big, huge weekend, but as long as it gets like these small drops week over week over week, it's going to make plenty of money. And then, of course, finally, Secrets of Dumbledore, 25% drop. It's starting to run out of steam at 1.9 million. Maybe it has another good week in it, and then that might be about it. All right, so then we go to the top 10 worldwide. Doctor Strange taking over that spot, of course, at 803 million, followed by The Batman at 768 million. Watergate Bridge still sitting there at 626 million. Uncharted cracking that $400 million mark. That's huge for that film. Secrets of Dumbledore, 387. Again, it needed 500 to break even. We'll see that on the next page. Not going to get anywhere close to that. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 at 375 million, still chugging along. Too Cool to Kill at 217 million. Nice View. Bad Guys starting to rise up the ranks. The Bad Guys is going to be really interesting to watch to see if it can cross that 200 million that it needs. And then, of course, the Lost City. Lost City is coming along lately, you know. It only is about $10 million away. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and jump to. All right, and then there you go. You can see the Lost City sitting at 175 at the worldwide box office. The break-even number was 185 million. So it's closing in. If this thing could kind of hang in theaters for maybe another month or two, who knows what it might do. And the thing about the Lost City is, in that break-even number, again, that's twice the budget plus half the budget. So it's a possibility that they really didn't spend half of their budget on marketing, because that's what the half the budget part is. So it's a possibility that, you know, maybe they've already made their money back if they didn't spend that much on the marketing. That's probably not the case, but nevertheless, you never know. However, they're right there close to what the break-even number would be. Is it a possibility that maybe, you know, Channing Tatum and Sandra Bullock say, hey, let's go out here and do a sequel to The Lost City. We'll kind of do our little Jewel of the Nile, you know, like this one was supposed to be Romance in the Stone with a twist. Yeah, probably not. You know, I think maybe they say, yeah, let's just cut our losses. You know, we kind of toed the line real close with this one. Let's go ahead and just move forward. But, you know, there's Morbius right behind it, and Morbius and Lost City were kind of in that same boat. Morbius, 163 million. It needed 188, so it's about $25 million off from breaking even. And it's really unfortunate with Morbius, because I think with this Sony universe, in order to really launch it and get it going, they needed a lot of positive, you know, feedback. We needed a big box office from this film. So yeah, that makes people kind of question and wonder, okay, what's going to come up for these guys down the line. But there you see Downton Abbey, only $40 million. That's all it costs for them to make this thing. And yeah, it did $51 million. It needed $105 million. So it got halfway there in its first weekend. That's a positive sign. Now, what will it do? Will it continue down the road? Probably. I'm guessing that this is probably going to break even and to make its money back at the very least. It'll probably have some sort of a smaller drop next weekend, somewhere in the 35 to 45% range, because I'm sure a lot of these folks that went to see this movie will come out and see it again. Folks that didn't see it last weekend, they'll also show up to see it this week or next week. And then, you know, it'll just have small similar drops all the way down the line. You know, if it stays in theaters for at least, you know, 7 to 8 weeks, yeah, I'm sure it's going to make another $50 million and break even. The Bad Guys, you can see how close it's getting. $182 million right now, and it needs $200 million. So it's only about $18 million away. That's its positive thing. I think that Bad Guys is going to definitely make its money back. It'll probably last through the summer. You know, this thing will probably stay in there doing 1 million one week, 1 million the next week, and it'll stay in theaters, and it'll eventually make its money. But same will not be the case for The Secrets of Dumbledore. $387 million, needed $500 million. It's running out of steam. And yeah, nobody's really checking for this movie anymore. I think it's done. And yeah, the franchise may be done, but that remains to be seen. All right, but that'll do it for the numbers. Let's go ahead and jump ahead to look at next week. And yeah, we got a big one coming up next week. All right, so here we go. May 27, 2022. We got 2 films dropping. The Bob's Burgers and Top Gun Maverick. All right, so I think everybody can automatically guess that Top Gun Maverick is probably going to be #1 next week. Yeah, Doctor Strange will be in the mix somehow, maybe challenging for #2 with the Bob's Burgers, but I think that #1 is going to be Top Gun Maverick. It is getting absolutely ravishing rave reviews all across the board. People are loving this, those who have seen it. And yeah, I think people are going to flock in regardless of what T may think. I think folks are going to flock in to see this movie, and it's going to do some big numbers. What numbers? We'll talk about that on the box office prediction. I'll go ahead and drop that on Tuesday, so check out for that. But yeah, we'll do that, and we'll see what, Bob's Burgers does. It'll probably come in 3rd or 4th, somewhere in that range. I think, again, with all of the movies starting to stack up for the summer, you got, Marvel films out there, starting to come up. You got, Top Gun that's coming in. You still got movies like The Bad Guys and Sonic that are still hanging around. Although Sonic, this might be the last week for Sonic. I take that back, because I think Sonic was in for 45 days, and then it's off to Paramount Plus to see what it can do there. All right, but yeah, that's going to do it for the box office breakdown. I want to appreciate everybody for watching, and if you haven't done so already, really appreciate it if you go ahead and give me a like over there, subscribe down over on that side. That helps out my channel, of course, and that helps this video itself make its way around the internet. Once again, thanks to everybody that's subscribing, all the new subscribers, all my new supporters. Really appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart, and that'll do it. I want to thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.